So this just in, there has been kind of big news in the Activision Blizzard scandal. In the time that it's taken me to make these video series about the scandal of Activision Blizzard. I think a lot of people kind of know what's going on right now, but some there has been some developments in this story that I can't leave untold. I had originally scheduled my first video to come out tomorrow, um, and have that scheduled for later, but I feel like this story is just too important, and that what's happened is too important to just kind of like gloss over. And I am happy to say that the reaction in the 24 hours since I have seen this, to the community support that we are seeing right now, this has exploded. This has absolutely exploded. The fuck you Blizzard movement has really come into full swing, and Blizzard should be fucking scared right now because there are a lot of content creators making multiple videos about what's going on and about the most recent developments about what's going on that I just have to share it. I had to say that. I had to say that piece. I skipped my intro. Here it goes. I think I want to steal the line from Asmongold because I really like the way he does it. I'm going to try it out. Alright, so it's your girl here, Rose Fox, on Rose Fox YouTube, and today we are going to talk about some of the developments that have been happening with the Blizzard Activision scandal. And here to talk about it, I have to get the name, I actually don't know this dude's name, but the guy's name is The Quartering. Or the guy's channel name is The Quartering. And he talks about the community and what the community has done, and I'm so proud about what the community has done because so many people have come out and posted videos and come out and said how wrong this is, and come out and said had joined in the cause to try and put a stop to this. There have been companies that have previously reviewed Blizzard content who have stopped completely. That's right. The noose has been placed around Blizzard's neck, and now they're starting to feel it. And now the rope is tightening. And Blizzard is starting to feel that noose tightening. They're starting to feel it from the community. They're starting to feel it from content creators. They're starting to feel it from other businesses who will not display Blizzard's content unless Blizzard makes changes. I'm gonna let this channel, The Quartering, tell about it. Because again, this guy has all the details. I don't want to undermine his work. As a small streamer, it helps me grow, it helps him grow, everyone wins. So let's sit and watch this together. Let's watch this unfold in real time because I will post this video. I'm gonna post this freaking video right when I'm done with this. I am posting it. I still have a lot of things to say about the big names in Blizzard, but I am so happy that the community has done the right thing. I've said that so many times. The right thing. We all know what the right thing to do is. Don't harass people. Don't belittle people. We treat everyone equally, like human beings. Blizzard has not done that. And this is the community's reaction to that, which has absolutely blown up.
Jeremy here from the Quartering, and I've got two pretty big stories out of Blizzard today, including about a half dozen emails I received from current and former Blizzard employees that provide additional details as to the working environment inside of those company walls. But I want to start out with a new report that essentially Blizzard has shut down. No work is being done amid the Activision Blizzard suit and potential revelations. I also want to point out that I'm also being told that people like Mike Morheim and Jalen Brack and people that left the company, they all knew. They all knew about this, which is why they're speaking out so strongly now, is because they want to cast doubt on whether or not they did, but it appears that many of them, including Mark Morheim, knew about all of this behavior, only now releasing half-hearted Masari messages. This via an article from Deserto. WoW Dev says no work is being done amid Activision Blizzard's suit. The new Activision Blizzard on July 22nd, Activision Blizzard was struck with a lengthy lawsuit that claimed the developers who are behind some of the game world's most popular titles, such as Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Overwatch, are exhibiting passive frat boy culture. Now, with the ripples being sent around the gaming community, many expressing their solidarity with employees, one of the current World of Warcraft developers has noted that they put the brakes on game updates for the time being. Now, I want to point out that normally, and I think this is the correct way to approach things, I approach these type of exposés about big game development companies with an enormous amount of caution. And also, I like to remind people that the overwhelming majority of the staff of these places are likely not involved in any of these shenanigans. And I don't think that it's fair to paint everybody at Blizzard in a bad light, or everybody at Riot Games, or everybody at Ubisoft in a bad light. And my heart goes out to the good folks that work at these companies in this particular video, Blizzard, because they are the majority, I am sure. With the aftermath of the suit still up in the air, one of the developers behind WoW, arguably Blizzard's leading title, has noted they're not going to be updating the game any further at the time being. Senior system designer at World of Warcraft, Jeff Hamilton, posted a thread of tweets on his stance in regards to the recent suit filed against Activision, and within one of these tweets, he noticed that almost no work is being done on World of Warcraft right now while this ostensively plays out, or why this obscenity plays out. Well, here's the thing. This is going to play out for months, perhaps even years. We're talking about a potential major collapse inside of Blizzard, in particular for World of Warcraft, at a time when they need these developers most, at a time when a lot of people are looking the other way for games like Final Fantasy or potentially New World, at a time when people have had enough of Jalen Brack and their anti-Hong Kong stances. This is a big deal. Here's Jeff Hamilton. I find Activision's corporate response wholly unacceptable. I don't stand by it, any of it. It's evil. It is evil to usurp a victim's story into a rhetorical bludgeon. And it's abhorrent to reply to these claims with action, with anything other than a well-thought-out plan to correct this bad behavior. I don't know what to do. I don't have all the answers. I can tell you almost no work is being done on World of Warcraft right now while this obscenity plays out, and that benefits nobody. Not the players, not the developers, not the shareholders. Well, we don't know how long this stoppage is going to last. We'll have to wait and see if other
This is the part that I like the most. Finally, this is where the noose tightens around Blizzard's neck. Finally, the shareholders are feeling the repercussions of their maniacal, horrible actions. Finally. And I know that there has been a lot of bullshit with, Blizzard and the company over the years. I have sort of, looked aside, to those things. But to what's come out recently, If I knew what was going on sooner, I would have absolutely done something like this and spoken and, try and give this to as many people as possible and be like, bro, it's like you gotta raise awareness about this. We have to get people on board with saying that this is not okay. And finally, the community is outraged. In the top Blizzard execs, starting to feel it. They deserve to feel some hurt. They really deserve to feel that. But more about how I hate top executives of Blizzard, and Bobby Kotick, and how much of a horrible person he is, and how much capitalism needs to be managed in this country, and all that stuff. I'll get into that. I will get into that. That's kind of towards the end. There is still so much to cover in this investigation. I will let the quartering, let them continue, and let's listen in. Let's tune in.
Activision Blizzard developers follow suit. Well, they absolutely will. You see, Morheim coming out. By the way, in my later video, I'll share some stories about him. He says he was shocked and so sad. Morheim described the claims as disturbing and difficult to read, and that everything he stood for had been washed away. Except he knew. He knew about all of it. His assistant knew. Everyone around him knew. We'll get into that spicy stuff later. This is, this is reporting from people who actually knew the man, who actually worked at Blizzard or work there currently. Firsthand testimony. I guess close to 100 new people are adding themselves to the suit, as one insider told me this morning. So there's a lot going on. But if you see, listen to the comments of Diablo's co-creator, Chris Metzen, saying, in the wake of the claims of the severity of all this bad behavior, the latest Diablo co-creator, Chris Metzen, former senior vice president of story and franchise development, took to Twitter. Following Morhaim's late Friday night apology, Metzen posted on Twitter late Sunday evening, tweeting out 2 images of texts, explaining it's later than it should have been. He retired back in 2016. We failed, and I'm sorry, he begins. So to all you at Blizzard, those of you I know, and those of you whom I've ever met, I offer you my deepest apologies for the part I played in a culture that fostered this bad behavior. By the way, again, he knew. The part he played, quote, privilege of not noticing, given pushback from some current and former Blizzard developers on whether or not those at the top could have truly realized anything was going on. It reads like an A-grade level contrite self-absolution. Metzen was well loved during his lengthy time at Blizzard, responsible for building some of the most popular games ever made, and his decision to leave was eventually revealed to be due to serious mental health challenges he was experiencing. Anxiety, panic attacks meant he was found he was unable to continue at the age of 42 and was able to retire and dedicate his time to family, including a new baby. His apology goes on to say that having read any of Activision Blizzard's staff experiences, friends and colleagues, people I valued and admired for years, were directly harmed because I was not present enough to ask, to listen, to hear the stories when it mattered. After acknowledging that he had trouble reconciling his experiences with those who have suffered, he continues, the yawning disconnect between my perception from the top and crushing reality many of you experience fills me with profound shame. Metzen's extended apology then goes on through the usual I have a wife and daughter segment of such things. Metzen appears to mean very well in his apology, but I imagine those who were working at Activision Blizzard during his decades-long tenure, who were loudly raising these issues at the time, might not feel so. Also, it's not immediately clear how many of them can retire at 42 to spend more time with their families. Now, Metzen was not somebody who was in particular mentioned to me, but several other people were, and I would be shocked if he didn't know. one of the people, I'm just checking one of my interviews I did, one of the people that was mentioned to me was the CTO, Ben Kilgore. We got more on him coming up later. There's some shocking claims about him. Now, of course, Jalen Brack comes out to apologize. Again, these people knew. Now, some gaming websites, YouTube channels halt coverage of Activision Blizzard games.
Yes. Yes, this is it. This is standing up for justice. This is why I had to make another video before my other video about this, about me being so sad and tragic. And it is. This is sad and tragic. But in the smallest form, maybe not in the smallest form, but let me turn this real quick. The community is showing how much that we are not going to stand for this. We are not going to stand for companies who will treat people like less than dirt. We will not treat them like resources. We will not treat them like animals. We will not stand while this company treats its women, minorities, and lower level employees like actual garbage that they can just throw away at any time. We will not stand for it. I will not stand for it. These companies will not stand for it. This streamer, whatever freaking direction it is, will not stand for it. And a lot of other streamers have come forward too, like Moist Critical. One of the biggest. I hope to see Ninja coming out with a stand against this, to speak on these matters. Again, that's more stuff in the future. But a very large streamer, content creator, has come forward and said this is all bullshit. This company's bullshit. Blizzard's bullshit. Activision's bullshit. The people running it are piles of shit. Bobby Kotick is a piece of shit. And it's literally stealing money from the pockets of the lower level employees. Millions of dollars paid to that asshole for it. Again, more on the people, I'll say later this week. But the community is upset. And is now barring Blizzard or any Blizzard games from their platform. So these companies are literally, well, he says it in the video, but like this hurts the company to not display Blizzard products. They are hurting their own finances to stand up for justice, and I applaud that. That is the right thing to do, to make a stand against it, against all logic, against all money, against capitalism, to make a stand, to do the right thing for people. And I'm proud to see that there's some people that are doing that. Let's continue.
What's more, Prima Games won't be covering anything released by Ubisoft. Last week, a pair of blockbuster reports by Kotaku's Ethan Gack offered a look at behind the curtain at Ubisoft Singapore, including a pervasive instance of bad behavior. These reports follow Kotaku's deep dive from last year. Then on Wednesday, Bloomberg first reported of a suit filed by the state of California against Activision Blizzard. It claimed a poisonous frat boy culture at the mega publisher, along with claims of bad behavior and even the passing of some. On Friday, Prima Games, best known for producing comprehensive strategy guides and walkthroughs for big and small games, indefinitely suspended coverage of games published by Ubisoft or Activision Blizzard. What this means is that all the past coverage of properties from these companies published to the site prior to the statement being made, including our guides, will remain, but no new coverage will be written until these companies do more to enact meaningful change. Now, I'll give them this. You know, in a world of slacktivism and lip service about this kind of stuff, you know, that's doing something. That's actually hurting your bottom line to stand up for something. Gaming news and analysis website The Gamer will similarly halt coverage of Activision Blizzard games. We're going to stop covering Activision Blizzard games until there's some real change and this gaslighting bollocks ends. We'll cover the ongoing news regarding the current story, but won't be covering the games. Editor-in-Chief Kirk McKeon. He's the editor. At a staggering rate of speed, offered a timeline for its coverage halt. In light of the horrific claims against Activision Blizzard, we are suspending any and all coverage of Activision Blizzard games for the rest of the year and perhaps indefinitely until the work culture has been demonstrably improved, the site said in a statement posted to Twitter. Earlier this year, Games Explained found itself in hot water with multiple former workers speaking advice about bad behavior there. I mean, it's just everywhere. You know, I talked to a female employee, pretty high up at Blizzard, about, you know, how she thought it got like this. And there was a lot of talk about, and it made a lot of sense, about overcorrection. You have these like unicorn situation where, you know, women are like 1 in 100, and so they're treated a certain way, and a lot of men who, you know, maybe aren't A-type personalities getting a bunch of money, and they feel like a rock star / celebrity, and they overcorrect. You know, maybe they didn't feel like it was okay to, they were afraid to talk to him before, but now they're going up and pinching him or something like that. Again, not every single thing is true, and there are, as I'll talk about later, some female bad actors in all of this, of course. But it seems like everybody's abandoning ship on Blizzard. You have this ex-Blizzard employee talks about unfair treatment, and just all of the hypocrisy around, you know, their denouncement of Hong Kong, but then their whole like every voice matters statue in front of Blizzard, except for all of these people that have been complaining about terrible behavior. I've got some more information on the cube to cube stuff that went on too. There's a lot to cover on this today, but I wanted to start with what looks like a very, very dangerous situation for Blizzard, and fans of the game, you know, are getting caught in the middle of all this. Some people even blaming the fans, where you have Alex Klonstas basically, if your reaction to everything going on right now is to complain that the next patch is going to take longer to release, then you need to take a step back and realize that you are part of the problem. You value video game content more than human decency and respect. Of course, they linked it to only people that they follow.
What? What? Gotta look at the name again. The quartering describes this so well. This is how Blizzard reacts to the community. His reaction to everything going on right now is to complain about the next patch. No. No one's complaining about the next patch. In fact, I think everyone's happy to take a break from video games for a little bit. Because there is a massive issue of human decency at a massive company in California right now. And they have the audacity to put tweets like this. They have the audacity to post tweets like this amidst this. They should be posting this issue. Blizzard should be posting this issue as a main page to everything. There's issues within our company. They should be letting their community know that they failed. That they failed horribly. And how they are going to fix it. That's what they should be telling their communities. They should be letting their communities know that this is a time of sorrow for gaming, for their game, for their industry. And they're going to take some time to look inward and fix it. That's what they should say. Let's continue.
And even they were getting feedback there. If your reaction to everything going on right now is to shift blame to your player base for your crappy work environment, then you need to take a step back and realize that you are the problem. You value covering your own rear more than human decency and respect. And we're going to see a lot of kind of scummy takes. This is from a senior game producer from World of Warcraft coming out and, turning on the gaming community. Look, you got to keep your own house clean, and they refuse to do that. It's not our fault. So we've got some breaking news here. There's currently a letter circling inside of Blizzard and Activision that I'm told has over 1,000 signatures already. And this is what it says. To the leaders of Activision Blizzard, we, the undersigned, agree that the statements from Activision Blizzard Inc. and their legal counsel regarding the DFEH lawsuit, as well as the subsequent internal statements from Francis Townsend, are abhorrent and insulting to all we believe our company should stand for. To put it clearly or unequivocally, our values as employees are not accurately reflected in the words or actions of our leadership. Now, obviously, I have a bit of an axe to grind with Blizzard in full transparency over some of their wokeness stuff, and obviously with their handling of Hong Kong, they're bending the knee to Chinese censorship. But more than anything, what frustrates me about Blizzard is the hypocrisy. This is a company that has a statue outside of their store or their building that talks about how every voice matters, and that's just clearly not the case. And if there's something that really grinds my gears on this channel, it's hypocrisy. It's my bread and butter. It's something that also makes my viewers angry, and they like to call it out as well. So I continue. We believe the statements have damaged our ongoing quest for equality inside and outside of our industry. Categorizing the claims that have been made up as distorted and in many cases false creates a company atmosphere that disbelieves victims. It also casts doubt on our organization's ability to hold accusers accountable for their actions and foster a safe environment for people that come forward in the future. These statements made it clear that our leadership is not putting our values first. Immediate corrections are needed from the highest level of our organization. I don't know what that looks like. I imagine that looks like somebody like Jalen Brack finding a new place to work. That looks like, Bobby Kotick getting removed. I think you need that kind of drastic change, to be honest with you. And these people might be fine individuals. I've never met either one of them. But ultimately, when you have a failure from the top down, that's where you have to start fixing the problem. And, Jalen Brack stood up there and talked about how, a Hearthstone player wasn't allowed to proclaim the need for liberty and freedom in his homeland while wearing a pride pin, and then going up and saying, well, we don't allow any statements outside of the game itself. We don't like any, we don't want to allow any, statements that might ruffle feathers. Now, obviously, pride is a more common thing, but it's still a non-game related, activism related comment. Our company executives have claimed that actions will be taken to protect us, but in the face of legal action and troubling official response to follow, we no longer trust that our leaders will place employee safety above their own interests. To claim this is a truly meritless and irresponsible lawsuit, while seeing so many current and former employees speak out about their own experiences regarding this bad behavior is simply unacceptable. And I can tell you, nearly a half dozen people have reached out to me and confirmed many of the specific stories in this suit. We call for official statements that recognize the seriousness of these claims and demonstrate compassion for those affected by it. We call on Francis Townsend to stand by her word to step down as executive sponsor of the ABK Employees Women Network as a result of the damaging nature of her statement. We call on executives leadership team to work with us on new and meaningful efforts to ensure employees as well as our community have a safe place to speak out and come forward. We stand with our friends, teammates, colleagues, as well as the members of our dedicated community who have experienced mistreatment of any kind. We will not be silenced. We will not stand aside. We will not give up until the company we love is a workplace that we can feel proud to be part of again. We will be the change.
The walls are closing around these executives and these fucking idiots who are just mismanaging the company. Closer and closer. Everyone is starting to point the gun in the right direction. And that's towards these idiotic high-level executives who have no idea how to manage a company, and the idiots and assholes who have mistreated their coworkers. I am so happy to see that the community is now going against Blizzard. That I've already talked about. The employees are now making their stand. Everyone is starting to turn their head and look directly in the face of evil and say, you're in big fucking trouble. You are in big fucking trouble. And no one is going to stand for their bullshit anymore. People now know enough to basically call Blizzard out for their bullshit right now. And I am so happy to see that everything with their games has stopped. Their execs are feeling it right now. Their idiotic community managers are just digging their own graves. They're just digging their own fucking graves right now. A lot of stuff has happened in a short amount of time, within 24 hours. And I'm happy to see the community is standing out and speaking up against Blizzard, against these companies, and against the industry, against these issues in California, against these issues in our country. Because it's not just happening in California, it's happening across the United States and across the world. But as Americans, we can't change what's gonna happen in Mexico. But we can change what is happening in our country. And we need to stand up for that. And I applaud anyone who is standing out against idiotic Blizzard executives who have no idea what they're talking about. There's a reckoning coming for you, Blizzard. There's a reckoning coming for you. There is gonna be a lot of stuff unfolding in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of months. He was absolutely right that this could be something that lasts a long time. Like and support the video to support these issues, to stand against the mistreatment of women and minorities, the mistreatment of workers of this industry, and the mistreatment of people by terrible and shitty executives. More to come. My name is Rose. This is Rose Fox YouTube, and I'll see you next time.